Not sure you can hear me in here, but we're on our way to the bus to the airport here in Siem Reap. In about, I don't know, 12 hours time, maybe a little bit longer, I'll be in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Two-step trip. One step is here, and then there's about a 3.5-hour layover in Bangkok at Dan Muang Airport. And then I fly directly from there into Colombo. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be recording. Anybody that watches this channel knows that I'm absolutely terrible with these kinds of travel videos. But maybe this time I'll get it right. I'm on board the airport bus now. It's about an hour's ride from here in downtown Siem Reap. I'm at the CDF Center. I'm not sure what it's called, but from people I've talked to, it's a sort of a duty-free service that's conducted right in Siem Reap itself. Anyway, this is where the airport bus stops, and it's about an hour to the airport. Well, as you can see, I've made it to the Siem Reap International Airport on a very nice bus. It was air conditioned, took about an hour, and now it's about 12 o'clock, or close to it anyway, and I've got about 3 hours before my flight actually leaves. Now, I've never been to this airport before except on arrival, so I don't know what the departures are like, but I'm going to go in there, check in for my flight. Online check-in is available on AirAsia here, but there was a note that I got that said that you can't use the online boarding pass. You have to actually go to the check-in counter here at Siem Reap. As usual, I'm early. I've got about 15 minutes before the check-in counters for my flight open, and I'm going to Bangkok first, to Dan Muang, the same airport that I flew out of to get here 3 weeks ago. I'm going back there. I'll have a 3-hour layover there, and then I'll get on a plane to Colombo. And I'm going to arrive in Colombo late at night, late tonight, probably about 10 or 11, between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. Well, Mr. International Bigshot almost made it through security without any glitches, but for some reason I forgot that I had deliberately placed loose baht in my pocket. I knew I was going to be stopping at Dan Muang, so I thought I would find out if I had any spare Thai change, and of course I did. So 3 or 4 coins in my pocket set off the security alarm. So that was embarrassing. This is the Siem Reap Airport. There is a Burger King here. The Burger King probably has more workers than there are passengers, though. One thing I can tell you, it is not comfortable in here at all. It is hot. It's not as hot as it is outside, but it's hot. When I got here to the airport, I had about 11,000 Cambodian reals. And of course, you don't want to carry that kind of money around because once you get outside Cambodia, you really can't do anything with it. 11,000 is worth probably about $1.50, maybe a little bit more. So I thought I'd buy a coffee. And when I added everything up, I realized that I would get rid of 11,000 in probably 15 or 20 separate bills, but I would also have to pay part of it with US dollars and get almost just as many smaller bills back. So that brilliant plan went out the window. So instead, I bought a souvenir and got rid of almost everything. I still have a few 100 denomination bills, which are worth, I think, about 10 cents. I'm not sure about that. You can look that up. Well, welcome to Don Muang. Or maybe I should say welcome back to Don Muang. I'm transiting here between Siem Reap and Colombo. And I've got a couple hours before my flight leaves for Sri Lanka. But I'll tell you, going through security on a transit is hectic. Apparently, I was filming in a security area, and airport officials frown upon that, from what I was told. But I've sort of lost my place. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the second security. It's hectic because you're walking down the hallway looking for the transit area, and all of a sudden there's another security area. You're not expecting it. You've got all your stuff in your pockets. I have my microphone around my neck. That always sets off the alarm, and I always forget that I've got it. But when I got there was nobody there to check passports or boarding passes. So I just walked through and started heading towards security, and the people at security got very excited that I didn't have my passport and boarding pass checked. And this wasn't an official immigration type thing. It was just somebody that was going to check the passport and boarding pass. But they started yelling. It was at the end of the hallway, and they're yelling, "Go back." And something, I don't know what they're yelling, because no matter what language they're speaking, I cannot understand a Thai woman speaking any language. I cannot understand it. Even when they're speaking English, I don't understand it. But anyway, I eventually got the message that I should turn around and go back. I figured if I turned around and went back, they would sit down and not yell at me anymore. And that's what I did. So I went back. The person from the airline that's supposed to be there checking boarding passes and passports showed up, and then everything was okay. Well, compared to Siem Reap, Bangkok is much, much more crowded. The whole time I was at Siem Reap, I got there about 3 hours early. There were only 2 flights scheduled to go. Mine was one of them. It's not a very popular place to fly into, apparently. But it's a nice airport, except for the air conditioning. Well, I'm heading to gate 2. Once again, it looks like AirAsia has all their gates in the basement. This is the same setup that they have at the airport in Chiang Mai. It's just like a big holding pen for all the flights, and I think there might be as many as 7 flights down here. When I was here before, on the way to Cambodia, it wasn't really that crowded, but we'll see what it's like now. This is it. There are 7 gates here. Seems kind of quiet. It was a little bit more crowded when I left here to go to Cambodia. Well, this is this Colombo airport. I forget the name of it, but I'll look that up. And right now I'm heading towards immigration. Immigration, customs, and then I have a ride that's coming to get me. More later. Well, that was as simple as, or as easy as pie, I guess you would say. Now I have to find my ride. No, thanks. The immigration officer didn't even want to look at my visa. I don't know why. No, thanks. Welcome to my first day in Sri Lanka. I'm here in what I think is downtown Colombo, but I'm not exactly sure where I am in the city. And this first morning, it's a little after 9 o'clock, is my first foray into a place I've never been before. Morning. So I've got Google Maps. Anyway, those that are keeping track, I've ditched Apple Maps completely. No more Apple Maps. I'm finished with it. It wouldn't give me directions in Siem Reap, so I figured it's completely useless. There's no need to have it. So I'm not using Google Maps. I would like to find a train station or even a bus station. Not a bus stop, but a bus station, just to see what my transport options are. I had a chance to look at the video I shot yesterday on my trip here, and as per usual, I'm not happy with it. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't think my commentary on those trips adds anything at all to the video. The best travel videos I've seen are pretty much silent. They have ambient noise, but they don't really have any commentary. There's text on the screen to explain what's going on. And I think the next time I fly, I'm going to try to do it that way. But I think those videos end up being more successful. My main problem is that towards the end of the trip, especially on a long one, I get lazy and I tend not to film or record anything except non sequiturs. But I noticed yesterday I was walking around or having a coffee, I think, at a Starbucks at Don Muang in Bangkok, and next thing you know, I'm arriving in Sri Lanka. There's kind of a continuity switch there. So I think if this video gets made, if I can salvage anything out of what I recorded yesterday, this is what this video is. If not, you'll never see it. Well, so far my first foray into Colombo has been, let's just say, confusing. I'm in a part of town that apparently is mostly schools, hospitals, and government buildings. So there's no real shops. What I'm really looking for is a 7-Eleven or something like that. Buy some water. And I especially like fizzy water. Try to get some of that. And maybe a bank, so I can test out my ATM card. I did alert my bank in the United States that I was traveling outside the country before I left. And that's really a good thing, because you can set it up, a travel plan they call it. On my bank it's for 2 weeks at a time. And I thought to myself when I did it, why can't they make it for like a month or 2 months or 6 months? But then as I did it, I realized that once the 2 weeks is up, you just submit another plan and change places as you go. You have to stay on top of it. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But I guess the reason for it, it's a security measure, sort of. You don't want to say I'm going to be traveling outside the country for a year and then have the bank not pay real attention to any transactions that occur over the whole year. 2 week time is a good amount of time for them to focus on, I guess. I think I'm just going to wrap up this video, but I will say this. If you've made it this far into this video, you liked it, I can tell. So you should like and subscribe to my channel. Anyhow, be seeing you.